Hello and welcome to the show today. My guest is an internet reviewer and entertainer. Let's go to a clip now to see a piece of his work.
Ah, now I see. You're the next generation, eh? How pathetically quaint. Yeah, I prefer New Men Deep Space Nine myself. That being the case, then, perhaps you know of that devil, Proctor, and how he and his meddling group scarred me, branded me forever a monster, of how the once proud elemental was broken, made less than a man in the name of their perverted vision of justice.
Oh, boo-hoo, we've all got problems.
Exit tries to attack, but...
It's not just entertaining people. Ladies and gentlemen, Lewis Lovhaug, a.k.a. Linkara.
Thank you! Thank you! Oh, you're too kind. Thank you. Hey, how you doing? Oh, thank you. It's great to be here. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Not a problem. It's good to be here.
Now, of course, with any of the guests, I gotta ask first things first. What inspired you to start writing or videoing comic book reviews?
It basically started as a pyramid scheme. I started writing text reviews in the style of the Agony Booth or Jabutu's movie reviews on their respective websites. And I just figured, hey, I can do this with comic books, and I enjoy doing it. And over time, it got that I just, like, it was too much work. I didn't have a lot of time to work on them. So it went from every week to every once in a blue moon. And eventually I discovered thatguywiththeglasses.com. and the Ask That Guy contest. So I entered into that, and I had so much fun making that video that I decided, hey, why don't I try to turn some of these text reviews into videos? And so I did a special for Halloween of that year, where I would review the scariest thing I knew of, the Clone Saga. And so I did 2 text reviews in the standard style, and then the third part of the review was a video. And the rest is history.
Now, of course, you've done like over 100 episodes and so forth. So what's like the hardest part of reviewing a comic book for you?
It's coming up with jokes a lot of the time. That and the editing, just for time consumption kind of deal. But sometimes comics don't give you very much to work with, so you have to really stretch your creativity to figure out something funny to make out of it. Otherwise, it's just boring exposition. Oh, hey, look at this. Look at what this person is doing. That's not right. Anyway.
So it's just generally like trying to just dig out material from the pages.
Yeah. Most comics give me something to work with, like a hook or a recurring gag or just some stupid line of dialogue that I can harp on, or just some failure in logic or reason that I can just go on a 3-minute tirade about. Like we just recently talked about, Superman Distant Fire. Distant Fire is where apparently nuclear war has the delayed reaction of blowing up the planet, literally. Like, I went on a huge tirade about that because it just doesn't make it. Because, for one thing, it's scientifically impossible. 2, it doesn't make much sense that it would take so long after the nuclear war for it to actually take place. And just the sheer amount of nuclear weapons necessary to actually physically devastate the planet like this comic suggests that it does. So, yeah.
So as you said, you're part of that guy at glasses.com. How did that feel when you got the email or the call, whatever, saying that you're now part of that team? How did that feel?
Felt very good. It was like at 4 in the morning on I think it was a weekend. I want to say it was a weekend because awake at 4 in the morning. And Mike Michaud just contacted me, asked me if I was available to come on Skype because I had submitted. And so I come on, it's 4 in the morning. He tells me, yeah, we want to bring you onto the site. And I'm just like in my chair, like all excited because, oh my God, my scheme is working. But yeah, it was just really exciting for me. He said that he had showed my Batman number 147, I want to say, review to Doug and Rob, and they thought it was hilarious. And I'm like, oh my God, an internet celebrity likes me.
Now, of course, speaking with Doug and all the other people, you've done crossovers with different reviewers like Spoonie and The Critic. What's it like working with those guys to produce a review and entertain people?
For the most part, they're everyone has their kind of own different way of doing things. When I reviewed with Mars Girl, so long ago now I think about it. Uh, Working with Mars Girl feels different than working with Spoonie or working with the Critic. With the Critic's crossover we did, the main one, Superman 4 crossover, that one has a huge cursed history because of just how much stuff we had to go through to get that review done with. And I had like written it like half a year ago. But Spoonie's pretty good. He's just kind of laid back and he takes. I don't really have much direction to give. I'm not a good director. Doug is an excellent director, as I've worked with him in both The Brawl and Kickassia. He knows what he wants to do, and he'll do multiple takes, and he knows how to talk to people. Me, I just kind of like fumble around and try to get everything set up, and I'm like, okay, wait, I gotta do this. Oh wait, I gotta set this up. Just running around everywhere. Since I'm a one-man operation, I'm used to just working with me and knowing what I want. But working with others makes it more difficult for me.
Now, we've all seen your reviews. Like, you got the reviews going, they're brilliant, but you also decided to do the story arc, Lord Vice, and everything. So, what inspired you to say, I don't want to do just reviews, I want to add a story to it?
It slowly developed over time with the Mecha saga. I knew I wanted to have like an evil robot version of me to start coming around, and maybe I'd do like a big conclusion kind of deal. But the direct inspiration from it is that it's supposed to be reflective of the comic books that I am reviewing. That it's supposed to be comic book-esque, very superhero-esque storylines. And sure, not everything's going to work out perfectly, and I'm low budget, but I want to show that I can do something better than the crap that I'm showing, and to show that it's really not that difficult to write even decent stories. Hell, even a boring story is better than a bad one. The boring story, at least you don't feel like this was like painful to sit through. It was just there. But hopefully, I just want to make it entertaining, and it helps set me apart as my own unique identity, having my storyline. But other reviewers are doing storylines too now, which is kind of spiffy.
Yeah, because we've all noticed, like in one of Spoonie's reviews, like Insano bursts in and says that Neutro's gone, but next we cut back to your review,
I'm
and
trying.
you're saying that you're the one who stole it.
That was planned out long ahead of time. Spoonie asked me if it was okay to do a certain line of dialogue, and I said, no, I can't do it because of this and this and this. But he's like, okay, what'd I do this line about Neutro being taken? I'm like, yes! Because I am planning on having Neutro be at the end of the second Mecha fight. So yes, that would work perfectly. But otherwise, yeah, I try to keep my reviews self-contained, because one of the problems with comic book storylines is having to read like a bajillion stories to understand what's going on. And so I didn't want to have to force people to try to hunt down all of Spoonie's videos to figure out what the hell was story-wise important. But yeah, I try to keep it self-contained, even if I don't always succeed.
So you've done now like over 100 reviews, correct?
122, I believe, was the last count.
I mean, how does that feel in general, knowing that you've reached this milestone? Would you say that's like it's amazing that you've made it this far, or?
It is really incredible that I've actually managed to keep doing this continuously for almost 3 years now. If I had to, I mean, yeah, I've been doing weekly videos. I don't think I've missed a week since my early days. So I've been going at least once a week, every single week for at least 2 years. I think that's pretty impressive on my part. Even Doug takes weeks off, and the fact that I keep managing to churn these out is pretty impressive to me, but I'm sure I'll screw up at some point.
So with all that in mind, with this whole Lord Vice saga, supposedly closed and everything, what can we, the fans, expect in the future?
Well, for the moment, we're going to go back to just doing straight-up reviews for a while. We've had 6 weeks of storyline videos, so I think people need a break from it. You need to have a status quo before you can shake it up. But now in terms of story, we're going to go into the Entity storyline and the mystery of what is the Entity, what is it planning on doing, and how will you defeat an otherworldly god.
Well, I must say we'll all be looking forward to that, and thank you very much for coming on the show. You've been a terrific guest.
No problem. Thank you again for having me.
ladies and gentlemen, Lewis Lovhaug, aka Linkara.
Thank you! Thank you! I have t-shirts in the lobby, thank you!
He's not joking. Go buy now. I'm being Caboos15. Catch you next time.